Each morning, real setups are broken down with entry strategies and technical reasoning behind every trade. This is today's best trade setups with Verified Investing.
Welcome to today's best trade setups. My name is Benjamin Poole, head trader here at Verified Investing. We have an exciting show. Palantir had really good earnings. They actually missed EPS revenue or EPS estimates. However, the revenue grew substantially year over year, so that's getting a nice bid to the upside. PayPal missed and is getting hammered to the downside. I'm going to have a level from 2015. This was a pivot high back in 2015 that is going to be key support levels for this for PayPal. And I've got a couple other stocks that I'm watching as well. First one I'm going to go over is Oracle. I love this chart. Overall, here are my levels on Oracle. First one is this gap fill right here at $155.97. Yesterday, it had a huge surge to the upside. I thought we were going to start our bull run. However, now it's getting beaten up in the pre-market, is down to $156.99. The first real support level is $155.97. This is going to be a gap in the charts that it once gets filled should get a decent bounce. I would only be looking for about a 1% bounce off of this level. This is more of an aggressive level. For today, $150.27 is the level that I'm starting to go long, with an additional gap in the chart sitting right here at $145.34. And then you've got this real major gap in the charts at $140.72. I know I've gone over this chart and I've mentioned that I still like this for a swing trade. I have these key support levels because just because I like something for a swing trade and it looks like it's getting a bounce doesn't necessarily mean that all those support levels are going to hold. Oracle keeps getting beaten up, and that's why we're continuing to see the fall. But we have support levels, at least for day trades going forward. And if it does drop down to $140.72, I will be adding to that swing trade. All right, let's go ahead and go into Meta next. Meta still falling a little bit off the back of earnings. So if it gets down to $668.73, I still like this for a day trade. We just need a little bit more of a sell-off, about a 5% sell-off to get to the $668.73 level. If for some reason we do end up getting a nice bid in the markets and in Meta, I'm still eyeing $751.67. Sandisk, we went over yesterday. Look at the fall on Sandisk. And I was mentioning about $645 was that entry price, and adding every $5. Had you taken this trade, you would have made a little bit of money, not substantial, but now it's trading at $692.73. The only real level that I have for Sandisk would be that $700 whole round number. And if you're interested in playing this as a short, I would be eyeing that. And then if it gets above that, adding every $6 to $7 on the movement of Sandisk going forward, because now it's a bigger stock, and those moves, a $7 move on a $700 stock is 1%. So I'd be adding every $1. For me, the max upside today would be $725. That whole round number, psychological 725, is where I see the max upside today. Now, if it closes above the higher end of this red bar candle, this pivot, this would negate this potential reversal candle right here and could send this extremely high. And I don't even have an upside target for you for Sandisk. I'm just eyeing day trade levels for you. And so 725 would be my max upside that I see Sandisk going today. LITE has earnings today after the bell. So this is not a swing trade. This would just be a day trade at $465.33. This is an upsloping trend line that's respected it. So first hit, second hit, this would be the third hit of this upsloping trend line. Oftentimes on third hit, you do like to pierce. And so $465 is an aggressive level on LITE, but I would be looking to add every $5 higher on this stock if we can get another push to the upside. Palantir actually had a head and shoulders pattern. And somebody was asking me, oh my gosh, it's already broken the neckline of this head and shoulders pattern. Should we play this in the live day trading room? And I said, no, because earnings is coming out. And then they beat earnings, or at least they beat their year over year revenue. So here's the stock of Palantir. I'm going to go ahead and zoom out to the daily time frame to show you what I was seeing as far as a head and shoulders pattern. We got a left shoulder here, head here, right shoulder here. Broke this neckline right at this $148.40 level several days in a row. And then earnings came out and sent this thing soaring. So it did get up to $165.62 in the pre-market. This is going to be your first level of resistance, $165.62. I'm not looking to play this in the live day trading room at $165. I wanted to go up a little bit higher to $167.74. This is my first shortable level. You've got this wide range red bar candle that's going to act as resistance, knowing that I've got this secondary wide range red bar candle at $170.94. And then these two pivot tops right at $172. And so I would likely dollar cost average into this if we get another push to the upside. As you can see, this wide range red bar candle right here has been respected several times. So once price action gets back up here from this massive fall and then a retrace, this is my key resistance level. And that's why I don't mind dollar cost averaging all the way up into that level. Now, if it starts closing above $170.94 on a 15-minute closing basis, that could signal time to exit, and price action would likely want to go higher. All right, PayPal had this huge drop on the back of earnings. It got all the way down to about $42.55. I'm zooming out in the charts. Look at this. 2015 pivot high right here. This is where you're going to get a ton of support. If it does get below this, this is my first long level, $42.55. You break below that, your next level of support is really going to be right here at $41.34. So this does look like an aggressive level, but that's a massive fall, over 17% on PayPal. So you should get a nice solid bounce, 3-4% off of this level. And again, if it does break this level on a 15-minute closing basis, consider stopping out and then re-entering it at $41.34. And I say re-entering it because look at the massive fall. I guess this is only about a 3% fall. So I guess that would be a good dollar cost average area for PayPal, knowing that there's additional support there. Fubo TV had some negative earnings as well. It got down to $1.83. My first long level is this wide range red bar candle here and the secondary red bar candle here, as well as all this price consolidation. So if we break below $1.83, here's your long level at $1.75 on the price of Fubo TV. All right, let's go ahead and go into Reddit. Reddit had a decent bounce yesterday, got all the way up to $184 and then rejected again. So for today's long level, it's $173.56. If it closes below this on a 15-minute closing basis, you've got this secondary pivot right here at $164.55. And then for me, my long level today, I'm looking at $160.59. I could consider stepping up at $164, but this $173.56, that's too aggressive level for me, but you should get a bounce off that level, but not something that I'd be interested in taking in the LDTR. Okay, so Robinhood. Robinhood had this level at $91.22. I was mentioning that was an aggressive level. You did get over a 1% bounce after a little bit of a flush out, got above it, and now it's getting rejected again. So now we got to identify additional levels. So you've got this pivot top right here from the August highs, August 2021 highs, which should be significant support. So if it drops down to $85.15, I am picking this up for a long, and then knowing that I've got this gap in the charts at $83.03 for additional support. Okay, so a couple different comments in the section. Somebody was asking about Monday, and then somebody was asking about CLSK. So I'm going to go over those charts for you guys, and I appreciate you commenting. This is what I'm here for. I'm here for you guys to make sure that you guys have all the information that you're looking for. So let's go ahead and jump into Monday. Monday has this beautiful down-sloping trend line that has respected every move to the upside, has gotten a nice rejection. And look at this. It's just scaling this down-sloping trend line over and over again. Now it's trading in the pre-market at $110.39. So what I'm going to do is zoom out on the charts. You are getting a little bit of support right here at about $110. Your next level of support is going to be right here at $95.57. But for me, I'm eyeing this gap in the charts right here at $77.36. It's actually the higher end of the gap, so it's not a true gap. The gap fill would actually be here at $74.36. However, this is a decent red bar candle, And so I do like the support level at $77.36 for a day and a swing trade. I really like the sell-off on the chart of MNDY. Now let's go ahead and go into CleanSpark. We are in a little bit of a downtrend, not a huge move to the downside. If we get a continued sell-off, $10.12 is going to be your key gap in the charts where you should get a solid bounce off of this level. This would be a retrace. This was a decent move to the upside. It was a 40% move. So you get rejected. That's a 30% pullback. There were buyers that obviously stepped up to drive the price higher. Now we're getting a rejection. If we can pick this back up, you can get about a 5% bounce off of this level on a smaller stock like this, knowing that $9.73 is an additional gap in the charts. So you should get additional support at that level. So, all right. Thank you so much for joining me. You guys are really awesome. I appreciate all the comments in there. Even if you're telling me that, I'm trying to catch a falling knife, that's probabilities. And we just try to play the probabilities. If something is into key support levels, I like to go long. If something's into key resistance levels, I like to go short. Doesn't guarantee that we're going to make money off these trades, but that's why we have additional support and or resistance levels to make sure that we're taking advantage of the potential moves that we expect in the markets. So that's what I have for you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Gareth Soloway is going to be going live in less than 4 minutes, talking about the overall markets. Again, you guys don't want to miss that. Oh, and if you guys are getting something out of this, please make sure you're liking, following, subscribing, and sharing with those friends so that way they can get the same market information that you guys are. And we'll see you guys next time in the charts. You guys have a great rest of your day. Take care.